Good morning, student. Today I am going to revise the lesson, the Browning version. It is written by Terence Rattigan. So, children, this is a chapter which is written by Terence Rattigan, and actually, this is an excerpt from Terence Rattigan's play, the Browning version. The scene is set in a good school. So, this is a play, and the name of the play is the Browning version, written by Terence Rattigan. And this is an excerpt. What is the meaning of excerpt? It is an extract of the play. Now, this is an excerpt from Terence Rattigan play, the Browning version. The scene is set in a good school. So here the scene is set in it is a scene of a good school where Tableau, a boy of 16, has come to do extra work for his master, Mr. Crocker Harris. Now, before explaining you the lesson, let me tell you that there are three main characters in the play. Okay, so one is teacher, a senior teacher is there whose name is Mr. Crocker Harris. The other is Mr. Frank, then Tableau, and Crocker Harris' wife also. She is seen for a short time, Mrs. Millie Crocker Harris. So these are the four characters of the play, and children, this is an excerpt from Terence Rattigan play, the Browning version. The scene is set in a good school. So what is the scene of the play? It is a scene of a good school, and a boy is a student whose name is Tableau. He is 16 years old. He is seen in that he has come to do extra work for his master, Mr. Crocker Harris. And a boy is there. His name is Tableau. He has come to do extra work for his master, Mr. Tableau Harris. Now, Mr. Crocker Harris, he has not yet arrived. He has called the boy, and he himself has not arrived yet. Well, children, so he is called by his master to do some extra work. Why he is called to do extra work? There is a reason behind it. In the last day, he was ill, so his work was a bit less, and he was absent also on that day. Compared to other students, his work was also less. Now, children, he was the boy that he was in the 5th standard, and that was the time when he was going to it is the last day of the term of that year, and he was supposed to get his result card. So he was called to do his extra work, and he had come for this, but till now his teacher, Mr. Crocker Harris, he has not arrived. And the master Frank, younger in years than Mr. Crocker Harris, finds Tableau waiting. So one of the master, he is there, and his name is Frank. He finds that Tableau is waiting for Mr. Crocker Harris. Incidentally, it is the last day of the term, and children, it is the last day of the term. Tableau is a student in the lower 5th form. So he is a student of lower 5th form. He does not know whether he will get his division all right or not. Now, children, he is very much worried about his marks, about his division, and he is thinking whether he will get his division right or not. He tells Frank that Mr. Crocker Harris does not tell them the result like other master. Now, children, Crocker Harris is a teacher. He is a senior teacher with a moral. He is having his own characteristic. Morally, he is very strong. Unlike other teacher, he never declares the result before, because it was a rule in the school that only the headmaster is supposed to declare the result. So, unlike the other teacher, he never used to declare his result. So he tells Frank that Mr. Crocker Harris does not tell them the result like other master. So Frank informed Tableau that there is a rule in the school that from results should only be announced by the headmaster. So this Cocker Harris is not there, but Frank on his behalf, he tells to Taplo that this is a rule in the school, that it is the result will be not told, it would be not told by anybody else except the headmaster on the last day of the term. Taplo said that no one except Mr. Cocker Harris pay attention to this. Now, Taplo here support Mr. Cocker Harris that he is the only one who follows the rules. Otherwise, it is told by all the teachers. So he is a bit what to say. Taplo is very frank. Indirectly, it proves that though Cocker Harris was a very strict teacher, but he is respected by his student. So Taplo speak in favor of him that he is the only one who follow the rules. He does not declare the result from before. Frank then asked Taplo what he would like to study if his result is favorable. Now, children, the other teacher, Mr. Frank, he asked Taplo that if his result is good, if his result is favorable, then what he would like to study. Taplo indicate his preferences for science. Now, Taplo showed his preferences for science. He showed his interest for science. Frank remarked that they get all the slackers in science. So, but it was Frank who remarked that they get all the slackers in science. Slackers is person who are lazy and they avoid work. So what is the meaning of slackers? Person who are lazy and they avoid work. So it was a remark by another teacher, Mr. Frank. He told that all the slackers in science, we get all the slackers in science. Taplo disagreed with him and said that he is extremely interested in science. Well, Taplo said that he is not like other children. He is extremely interested in science. Frank observed, frankly, that he is not interested in the science he is to teach. Now, children, Frank was a science teacher and he concluded this thing from Taplo that he is really not interested in science. Though he was telling that he loved science, he would like to take science, but he realized he had this feeling that he is not good in science. He has to teach. Taplo, on the other hand, finds the study of Greek plays Aga Mamnon Muck. Now, Taplo, he is not interested in the science he is to teach. Taplo, on the other hand, finds the study of Greek play Agamemnon Muck. So Taplo, children, he tells, he likes science, okay, and Taplo, on the other hand, finds the study of Greek play Agamemnon Muck. So though he tells that he is not interested in science, Frank observed frankly that who is not interested in science. It was observed by Frank, Mr. Frank, that Taplo is not interested in science. But Taplo, on the other hand, finds the study of Greek play Agamemnon. Now, children, there is one Greek play. What is the name of that Greek play? Agamemnon. This is the Greek play. So he finds this play a muck. Not interesting, not good. His objection is to the way the play is taught to them, just a lot of Greek words strung together. And children, he is of the opinion that in this play, he in fact object that the play which is taught to them, it has a lot of Greek words in that play, and if anybody pronounce that word wrong, they have to say 50 times they have to read that sentence. So this the punishment was too much for them. So just a lot of Greek words strung together and 50 lines if one gets them wrong. Taplo's answer showed that he is feeling a bit bitter. Now, Taplo's answer shows that he is feeling a bit bitter. Frank is surprised that Taplo has come in to do extra work even on the last day of school. Frank is surprised that Taplo has come in to do extra work even on the last day of school. Now, children, and Frank is surprised. He is telling that you have come for the extra to do the extra work of the school. Today is the last day of the school, and in spite of that, you are being called to do extra work. Taplo says that he missed a day last week when he was ill. Now, Taplo said his teacher called him because he missed a day, and last week he missed a day because he was not well and he has to put in extra work. That's why he has to put some extra work. The weather is quite fine and he might be playing golf. Now, children, he realized that today the weather was quite fine, and if he would not have come to the school, where would he have gone? Would have gone to play golf because the weather was really very nice and fine that day. He knows that Mr. Crocker Harris must be quite busy, then he is leaving the school for good the next day. Now, children, he Taplo realizes that Mr. Crocker Harris till now he did not come in spite of him calling him in the school. So this shows that he must be quite busy somewhere, and then he is leaving the school for good the next day, and he is also leaving the school the next day. Well, children, so till now Mr. Cocker Harris has not arrived, and the conversation then shifts to Mr. Cocker Harris. Now, children, Mr. Frank, it seems he was feeling a bit jealous that why Taplo is praising Mr. Cocker Harris. He was a bit jealous. Okay, so Taplo had asked him the previous day if he had given him a good division, and he said he had given Taplo exactly what he deserved. Now, as I told you, children, his teacher did not like buttering. He was a man of high moral character. So, when Taplo asked him how much marks he had got, his teacher did not tell his marks, but he told whatever he deserved. If he deserved a good thing, if he has written good, he will get good marks. If he has written average, he will get average marks. That means whatever he has written, if will get the marks according to that. Taplo exactly what he deserved. So Cocker Harris told him that he had given him the marks exactly what he had actually deserved. No less, he did not give the marks less, and he did not even give the marks more. Whatever he had done, he had given the marks according to that. Taplo is afraid that he might have marked him down. Now, children, when Taplo heard this thing, he felt that he might have marked him down rather than up for taking extra work. And he told he might have marked him down rather than up for taking extra work. Now, the conversation then shifted to Mr. Cocker Harris. Taplo had asked him the previous day if he had given him a good division, and he said that he had given Taplo exactly what he deserved. No less and certainly no more. Taplo is afraid that he might have marked him down rather than up for taking extra work. The man is hardly human. Frank then encourages Taplo to repeat the remark of Mr. Cocker Harris. Frank does not find his imitation up to the mark and asks him to read the asterisk and be quiet. Frank suggests to Taplo that he might cut the class and play golf as Mr. Cocker Harris has not turned up. Now, children, Frank is suggesting something which is not appropriate, and he really does not want actually that he should like Mr. Cocker Harris. So he is advising him. He is advising him that he should, if he want to leave, okay, he could leave, because till now he is not turned up and he can go and play golf as the weather was fine. So now Frank seems to encourage tableau comments on Cocker Harris. So children, what Frank seems to encourage tableau comments on Cocker Harris. Why? Because he shows appreciation for tableau invitation of Mr. Cocker Harris and asks him to repeat it. On another occasion, Frank tells tableau not to keep a good joke narrated in the style of Mr. Cocker Harris to himself, but to tell it to other. Now, children, Tableau has imitated his teacher, and he is telling to tell that imitation to many people. Okay, this shows Mr. Frank, he did not like Cocker Harris. Now, so Tableau is waiting for his master, Mr. Cocker Harris. He has come to do extra work on the last day of term because he missed a day last week when he was ill. Since the weather is quite fine, he feels quite unhappy to be confined in a room. He might as be playing golf. So he was thinking that the weather was such a good weather, so he might have been playing golf. Well, Frank suggests to Taproot that he might cut the class and play golf as Mr. Crackus Horace has not yet done. So children, what Mr. Frank is telling, he is telling you can leave the place since your teacher is not arrived yet, and if you want you can go play golf. Taproot is shocked at the suggestion as he can't think of ever doing so. Now children, even Tableau, when he suggested this thing, even he was shocked with the suggestion given to him by Mr. Frank. Frank envies Mr. Cocker Harris for the effect he has on the boys. Now, children, Frank envies Mr. Cocker Harris for the effect he has on the boys. Now, children, why he is telling to go? Because when Mr. Cocker Harris will come, he will tell his student did not turn up, okay, and he will make him feel that he is not respected by his student. So, children, he was so caring. He was so caring that he started telling Mr. Tableau that he could leave it, but Tableau, he could not even think this thing in a ever doing so. He did not even want to do all this thing. Frank envies Mr. Crocker Harris for the effect he has on the boys. So children, envies means jealous. So Frank is really jealous with Mr. Crocker Harris because all the boys respected him a lot. Though he was a very strict teacher, he was used to get very annoyed, angry. But then also the the boys, they used to like him. They seem scared to death of him. Tableau says that the Croc is not a sadist like other masters. So it is Tableau who tell that he is not a sadist like other master. He would not be so frightening if he were. It would then seem that he had some feeling. He seems dry like a nut and hates people to like him. Now children, he is telling he has some feeling. He is dried up like a nut and hates people like him. Still Tableau likes him. Now children, whatever is the reason, whatever might be he is, but Tableau is still like his teacher because he feel that he is a man with a strong character. He do right things. Not like other teacher, he will tell the report marks of the children before. Mr. Crocker Harris sees it and he shrivels up even more. So Mr. Cocker Harris, he sees it and he shrivels it even even more. Trapro then relates an incident when his master related one of the classical jokes in the class. Now, children, Tableau, he told that he did not dare to leave that thing because his will be very soon, his master will be there. And then, children, he relates an incident which was related to by Mr. Crocker Harris in the class. His master related one of the classical joke in the class. Nobody laughed as they could not understand. Now, children, but that nobody was laughing when they heard the joke, because children, it was actually uh, it was not heard by many students. Nobody laughed as they could understand it. Taplo laughed as he knew he had meant it as funny. He felt sorry for his master for having made such a poor joke. Now, children, Taplo laughed as he knew he had meant it as funny. Now, children, Taplo, just to please his teacher, he started laughing because he thought if nobody will laugh, how bad his teacher will feel. So he started laughing. But he also did not understood like other students. Taplo laughed as he knew he had meant it as funny. So, children, he just considered that joke as a funny. He really did not understand that joke and he started laughing. He felt sorry for his master for having made such a poor joke. Taplo has forgotten the joke but offers to imitate the reaction of Mr. Cocker Harris. Now, children, Tapler has forgotten what that joke was, but he still can imitate the reaction of Mr. Cocker Harris. The laughter of Mr. Frank encourages Tapler to do so. And children, why he did that imitation? Because when he, for a few seconds, when he imitated his teacher, Mr. Crocker Harris, Mr. Frank started laughing. This encouraged him to act Mr. Uh, Crocker Harris. Okay, the laughter of Mr. Frank encourages Taplo to do so. Frank seems to enjoy the jokes and asks Taplo to tell it to others. Now, children, Mr. Frank really enjoyed it, and he told him to do this type of acting with some other people also. In the meanwhile, Millie Crocker Harris entered, and children, when they were talking, Millie Crocker Harris, she was the wife of Mr. Harris. Okay, Mr. Crocker Harris, she entered. Frank and Taplo are surprised to see her. Frank is very much surprised. He did not expected her that she would be there. Taplo is afraid that she might have overheard the joke. Actually, Taplo is really scared. He was thinking if she had heard his husband imitated by him, so what she will tell, and if she will tell her husband, Taplo's division would be in danger. So he was scared that his joke has been heard by his wife, and she is okay. What she is doing? She is encouraging him. She told her that if she will tell her husband, then her division will be lowered. It will be put in danger. Frank dismisses his fear. Now, children, Frank, he just dismisses his fear. Mrs. tells Taplo that her husband is at the bursar and might be there quite a time. Now, Miss Millie Crocker Harris, she told that her husband is in which place? He is far away from here. He's in bursars and might be there quite a time, and he may stay there for some time. She said if she were Taplo, okay, she's saying if she were Taplo, she would go. She would go. Now, she told that if I were in the place of Taplo, I would not stay here till long. I would just leave the place. Now, Taplo is filled with doubt that why even his son was telling, Mr. Frank was advising him to go. Now his wife is also telling him to go. So he says that Mr. Cocker Harris had especially asked him to come. Now he told Mrs. Millie Crocker Harris that he came because he had been especially asked by Mr. Crocker Harris to come there. Millie then suggested he might run away for a quarter of an hour and come back. Now Millie told that since husband will be late, so he can go there for a quarter of an hour to his home and he could come back later. Taplo is little uncertain and wondered what will happen. Now Taplo is still very much scared with his teacher. He still dare not go anywhere. So he is thinking what to do and what not to do. He was uncertain and wonders what will happen. If he gets there before his arrival, Millie offers to take the blame. If he gets there before his arrival, he told if suppose if he comes, then his wife told, I will take the blame on my head. She then hands him over a prescription and asks him to go to the chemist and get it made up. Now children, not only that, she had given him some prescription. Okay, why she has given that prescription? Because she told him, okay, she told Taplo, she had given him the prescription that suppose if his teacher will come, then she could say to him that it was I who sent him. I have given him some prescription to buy him medicine. So Millie was a very kind-hearted lady. He knew that he has been here since long, but at the same time she also advises him to go because her husband will not going to return very soon. It will take time for her. She then hands him over a prescription, asks him to go to the chemist and get it made up. Thus he can do a job for him. Taplo agrees and leaves the room. Now children, this idea was liked by Taplo and he leaves the room. Okay, so children, this is the background of the Browning version written by Terence Rattingham. And I told you Terence Rattingham play name was Browning version. The name of his play was Browning version, and he had taken this excerpt from there only. What do you learn about Tableau from the initial conversation between him and Mr. Frank? Now children, I would like to tell you something about Tableau. Okay, from the initial conversation between him and Mr. Frank. So children, Tableau is a boy of 16, a very young boy. He is still in the lower 5th. He can't specialize until the next term if he get his form or division all right. Since his master, Mr. Crocker Harris, has not told him the result, he will have to wait till the next day to learn his fate. A sadist is a person who gets pleasure out of giving pain. Tableau said that Mr. Crocker Harris cannot be even a sadist because that would mean that he has some feeling, but he is not at all. He is all shriveled up inside like a nut. Which course of study children does Tableau prefer and why? So children, he prefers science to literature. He finds it a good deal more exciting than his play, which he considered quite unpleasant. How does Tableau react to Mr. Frank's query? And you consider view is that the Agamemnon is a mug. Tableau modifies his stand. The student Tableau modifies stand. He said that he doesn't think the play is a mug. It has a good plot. In fact, a wife murdering her husband and all that. His opinion is based on the way it is taught to them. Just a lot of Greek words strung together and 50 lines if one gets them wrong. Thus, Tableau draw a fine distinction between the study of science and literature. Okay. Now, children, in this Tableau also he respect his teacher. It is his view that he is unlike other master. So, student, according to Tableau, Mr. Crocker Harris is a good teacher and though he is a very honest, whatever the rule used to say, he used to do according to that. And when Tableau asked him about his form, he told the boy that he had given him exactly what he deserved when he asked about his mark, no less and certainly no more. Tableau is afraid that he might have marked him down rather than up for taking extra work. Now, children, here the junior teacher, Mr. Frank, he feels envy with Master Crocker Harris. Okay, and all these things are depicted in this play. So basically, children, the system of education, we come to know about the system of education, and still there are teacher who is having a character. There are many teacher who children who does not follow the rules of the school, especially the young teachers. So all this thing is depicted in the play. And in my next video, I will be doing the explanation of the play. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.